everybody, Wannabe Reviewer here, and welcome back to the Wannabe Podcast, episode 57. Now, before we begin this week's podcast, I just want to say, well, technically by the time this goes up, it might be Friday, but regardless, if I have listeners who, celebrated or are celebrating Thanksgiving, then I just want to say, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Hopefully you guys got the day off, or I don't know, you guys got to spend time with your family, just chilling and eating a lot and just having a good time, And likewise, for those of you who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, you might be in a different country or whatever. Likewise, I just hope that you guys have a wonderful Thursday/Friday. Hopefully, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, hopefully this podcast finds you well. I'm just trying to send good vibes. And so, there you go. Piggybacking off of that whole Thanksgiving thing, though, I'm actually not really home right now. I'm actually kind of, out of town. And yeah, so if the podcast sounds a little bit different, which it shouldn't. I mean, I'm recording using the laptop. But if the podcast sounds a little bit different, that's why. And number two, unlike other times where I say that it's going to be a short podcast and that's not, this one should be a short podcast because I'm not even home. And I do have family probably wondering where I escaped to. So, it's going to be a quick podcast. Just want to throw that out there. So, getting this podcast started, I'm going to start with my week. And yeah, my week is not very remarkable, guys. Not only because of the whole holiday thing, but also, I don't know, I was just wrapping things up at work. And I had a friend come over earlier in the week, like the earlier half of the week. And it's a friend I hadn't really seen in a while. And so instead of, really playing any new games or watching anything new, I was kind of sitting down with him and I was kind of showing him some stuff he might have missed, from earlier this year. So I don't really have too much to talk about for my week. However, I guess some stuff I want to talk about. Number one, I watched season 14 of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And man, I just love that show. I love how the people who make this show, they know what they're doing. And they do such a good job just portraying their characters, being the worst people out there, but yet you still are entertained watching them and you still kind of root for them, it's just such a crazy show that they have, they just make it work so well. And yeah, season 14, I don't think they've lost their charm. I think it was really funny. They had an episode, for instance, where they try to make their own Airbnb, and they kept trying to for whatever reason, they were trying to hook up different people in the group with the couple, they're trying to break the couple up because they were trying to make their own rom-com for whatever reason. That was really funny. There was another episode where everyone had to be nice to D. D's the only female member of the group, because it's 4 guys and she's the one female, and everyone had to be nice to her. And of course they kind of hate her, and so they were pretending to be nice, and they had this whole other plan going on. And the plan, you keep seeing it cutting to different people trying to do different stages of the plan, and it just keeps falling apart. That was really funny. There was an episode had to do with the gang getting, I don't know what you would call it, but it was some sort of a conference where they showed them the 4th installment of this movie that they really love. And I guess they were kind of asking them questions about it, you've ever seen how supposedly they do early screenings, and then they see how the fans react to it and they make changes or whatever. And that was really funny, just seeing them be super stupid, not really knowing what's going on, arguing about how they want the main characters dong to be on screen and stuff. And I don't know, man, it was just really funny. And then near the end you hear that they don't even watch the movie. They don't even go to the movies. They always pirate it. And when the lady explains that that's why the movie has had to make all these changes because it can't make money, they're still upset even though they're the problem. I don't know. It's just really funny. You just gotta watch it. But yeah, one of the things I watched was It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, season 14. And I recommend it, If you like It's Always Sunny, I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's more of the same good old stuff, And if you haven't watched the show before, I love it. I recommend it. I think it is a wild ride. And yeah, I would say look it up, It's a really funny, really dark, really just satirical show. So check it out. The other thing that I really did this week is that I did a lot of streaming. It's not really a lot, but I guess I streamed for 3 days in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before I left town. And yeah, I did some streaming, using my new PC, using a new setup. I was trying out Streamlabs, and sure enough, I want to get more into streaming. especially because of the whole, I don't know, YouTube's kind of in a weird spot right now, and honestly, I'm not going to get too into that. I'm going to wait until like December 10th or whatever, when this whole, COPA thing goes through, then I'll kind of decide what's going to happen with my channel. But all you guys really need to know, I've been, doing a bit of streaming here and there. It looks like my setup is pretty good. I definitely want to get into that, want to integrate streaming into my content because of how, like I said, YouTube's kind of iffy. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun streaming, For one stream, I know Terrific showed up. I think the other two, I had the Legend of Jonathan come in, and he was there, commenting, watching, all that good stuff. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I'm going to try to continue streaming. Hopefully next week, I'll try to stream on like a Tuesday, I think. So, fingers crossed that happens. And besides that, what I want to say, it kind of ties into it, is that not only was I streaming stuff, like Pokemon Sword and a little bit of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that sort of stuff, but one of the games that I played that was new this week was ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove. Now, I'm not too familiar with the ToeJam and Earl series. I'd heard about it before, seen a bit of gameplay of it, and it was always a game that I was kind of, curious to check out, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I never did. However, I got entered into this little giveaway thing for a channel called It's All Fun and Games. He was celebrating his 99th video, and he was doing like a giveaway where there was like, 3 different prizes you could win, that sort of thing. And I actually won first place. And first place was this like big box from Limited Run Games that includes a physical version of the game, like 6 pins, a puzzle, a poster, like some cutouts you can do some stuff with, cassette tape of like the soundtrack, I mean, it's just really cool. It's like a really big prize, really awesome. And yeah, I mean, thanks to It's All Fun and Games and his little giveaway and how I won, his contest or whatever, I got to try out the game. And I actually played that Wednesday on stream. And yeah, as someone who had never played ToeJam and Earl before, like I thought it was a very interesting, very strange game that I'm like definitely excited to play more of, Like, I don't even really know how to describe the game. It's just so weird because you're like these aliens that you crash on Earth, but it doesn't look like Earth. Each level is just like a different, almost like a little floating island for each level. And you're just running around inspecting everything. And as you're inspecting everything, different characters and different items do different things, So it's like really about exploration, I guess. And it has like a weird leveling up system and there's stats and stuff. And like, I don't know, like I say, it's very hard to explain. I would say go check out, the bit of gameplay I did of it, because I don't really know how to describe it. It's like an adventure game. It kind of has like some RPG elements to it, but it's like unlike anything I've ever played before. It's just very, very different. But regardless, I had fun with the game. I hope to play more of it, maybe even some co-op or something. And yeah, hopefully I will, in the future, maybe I'll stream some more of it, because I definitely had fun with it. So, there you go. I mean, I played ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove. If you haven't like played it or even heard of it, like I said, I would say look it up or look up, like the gameplay I did of it, because it is a very unique, very strange game, but it's fun, So I enjoyed it. I had fun with it, and I'm glad that I won the prize. So there you go. Alrighty guys, I said I was going to keep it brief, and sure enough, that's it for my week. I basically just did 2 things of note. The streaming, the watching Sunny in Philadelphia, and like I said, besides that, a lot of stuff was just personal life stuff with like work and hanging out with my friend and traveling, that sort of thing. So yeah, I know my week is a little, short on content this time around, but hopefully next week, things will be back to normal. Hopefully I'll check out some new games and anime, and I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of stuff coming out or stuff that has come out that I want to check out. So, sure enough, hopefully I'll have more to talk about, next week. With that being said, though, transitioning over to the news. Same thing. I feel like there's not any like really, really big news stories at the moment. So I just picked out a couple of, stories here and there for like each topic that I thought were interesting, but they're all very brief. They're kind of just like announcements, like that sort of thing. But yeah, transitioning over to the news. As the title of the first news story says, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, and 4 for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch launch November 29. So basically by the time this goes up, I'm pretty sure these games will finally be out. And yeah, I mean, don't really know what to say. Either you've heard of Five Nights at Freddy's or you haven't, It's been really big on the internet, like for the last couple of years or whatever. They're like these horror games where basically you have to like defend yourself from these like animatronics at night. And not only that, but apparently, even though the games seem very straightforward, there's supposed to be like all this lore happening in the background, Like I know I've seen, what's that channel? Game Theory. He's done like a whole ton of videos on that. And I've never played them, never really been too interested in them. But I don't know. I mean, now that like some time has passed and I know how like big they are, and that they are coming to console, maybe I'll check them out, So, yeah, that's basically it for the story. Just if you're interested, Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, and 4 are coming to consoles. Like I said, probably by the time you listen to this. So if you're interested, go check them out, I guess. Alrighty, moving on. This next one's a bit of a disappointment because I had been wondering about it and I do really want to play it. Basically what I'm talking about, as the title of the article states, the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe delayed to 2020. So that's kind of disappointing because during some big event, I don't remember what event it was, they had announced that they're going to make this new version of the Stanley Parable and it's going to have like, different endings and different... I don't remember what I know it's supposed to have like different endings and like different mechanics or something. Like I don't remember exactly what it's supposed to have, but I know they're adding stuff to it, right? And I was excited because the original Stanley Parable, I think it's really fun. For anyone who doesn't know or has never like played it before, basically it's this walking simulator where you play as this guy named Stanley. And he's an office worker that like one day he wakes up in his office and he sees that like everything's empty. And as you're controlling Stanley and you're walking around the office, there's like this narrator. And it's like this witty, kind of sarcastic, British sounding narrator. And he's narrating everything you do. And he's like giving like meta commentary and stuff. And yeah, as you play, there's all these different like endings and stuff you can do. And it's really fun. You just gotta check the game out. It's really charming. And yeah, so hearing that there was gonna be like a new version of it with like more stuff, I thought that was really cool. And I was excited. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, for whatever reason, it says that it's going to get delayed till 2020. Like if you look at the image for the article, it says it's delayed to 2020 to sometime probably before summer, but it sort of depends on the specifics of how development goes. So, I don't know, on the one hand, it does suck that it got delayed. I was excited to hear about it, and I was wondering, what happened to it. But on the other hand, I mean, it makes sense that I guess they feel they need a little bit of extra time. Maybe, they're trying to polish some stuff up, or maybe they're having trouble with something. So I think it's better for them to delay it, and hopefully for the game to be, like, really good, than for them to just rush it and, for it to be, like, half-assed or whatever. So I'm excited. I really look forward to it. That's definitely a game that I want to play. Maybe I'll even play it on stream, whenever it comes out. Likewise, let me know. Do you like the Stanley Parable? Are you excited to see a version that has more stuff to it? Let me know in the comments section below. Let's move on. Finally, my last video game news story. It's an interesting one because it's something that people saw coming. Like, it's really obvious. Basically, as the title of the article states, Devil May Cry Triple Pack for Switch launches February 20, 2020 in Japan. And if you read it down like a little bit farther, it says, includes Devil May Cry 1 on a game card, plus a download code for 2 and 3. So, like I said, a lot of people saw this coming. For anyone who's been paying attention, over the last few months or whatever, they released Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 2 on the Switch. And a lot of people are wondering, when Part 3 is going to come out, maybe even Part 4 or whatever. And sure enough, there we have it. Part 3's coming. Although for now it is just for Japan. People are speculating that's probably coming to like all other regions soon, probably. It's an interesting story because, number one, it is kind of crappy that they keep trying to sell all these games separate. Like, first of all, they released, 1 and 2 separate, and they were each, I don't remember, $20, which is, kind of expensive, honestly, since these games are really old. And I heard, the versions of them weren't even, like the best versions. So there being a triple pack that comes with all 3 games, that is kind of a good deal. But then if you read it, though, it says that's going to be 4,990 yen, which I believe is, $50. So 3 games for $50 when they're that old. Once again, kind of crappy. So, on the one hand, it is kind of a weird story because the way they've priced these games and how they've handled it, people are kind of unhappy with Capcom, you know? They feel like Capcom's just, I don't know, I mean, they could have just done way better releasing these games and making it worth more of a deal, you know? So, on the one hand, people are, upset with that. But on the other hand, I mean, Devil May Cry 3... it's a lot of people's favorite game, it's like a really good game. And not only that, but people are also kind of interested because they've noticed that all 3 games have been ported to Switch like really soon, like one after the other. And some people, I mean, that's just speculation. They're wondering if they're just trying to push these games to Switch. That way, according to like Smash, one of the long-held beliefs is that like, oh, any character that comes out in Smash, it's because their games have been released on a Nintendo console. So some people are wondering if maybe Dante from the Devil May Cry series, maybe he's like the next big release, as a DLC character. And they're thinking maybe that's why his games are getting pushed so hard, But like I said, that's all speculation. Nobody knows. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about. It is interesting to like kind of speculate. Could Dante be a character coming to Smash? That'd be kind of cool, That sounds exciting. And is it kind of cool that we're having, Devil May Cry 3 coming to the Switch when it's like a really good game, really fun game? That's also interesting. But on the other hand, like I said, the way Capcom has handled the release is kind of crappy. And the fact that the games are kind of expensive for being like so old, like that does kind of suck. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it is what it is. If people are excited to play them, they'll play them, they'll pay for them, whatever. But yeah, like I said, it's just kind of exciting. Does this mean anything? Is Dante going to be in Smash? I think probably not, but it's still interesting to keep an eye out for. So there you go. Alrighty, switching over to TV news. My first news story, it's a weird one because, it's just like there's a lot of speculation. It just makes it really strange. As the title of the article states, Simpsons composer says show is ending despite season 32 renewal. So, for those of you who don't know, The Simpsons is still going, even though at this point people feel that there are more bad seasons than good seasons. For whatever reason, it's still going. And as it says in the article, right now it's like in season 31. I think there's like 9 episodes left of it. And it did get renewed for season 32. However, the composer of the theme and, some of the music and stuff, Danny Elfman, he says that according to him, from what he's heard, that apparently the show is coming to an end. So that's where it gets weird because he says it's coming to an end, but yet the season 32 got renewed. So it seems weird that they would end it when they just got renewed. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And if you read the article, people say that they think maybe he's making it up, but I don't know. It's just really strange. Personally, what I think happened, or what's happening, I think maybe Danny Elfman, maybe he's a little bit, like he got some things mixed up. I definitely think he does know some stuff, more than like the average viewer. I think maybe he has heard that the show wants to end like fairly soon, but I think what happened is that maybe he made a mistake and he thought that's ending this year, but maybe the cast, they've talked about how they want to end it at the end of like, maybe season 32 and he got it mixed up or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely interesting because, the show is just one of those things that people kind of hope comes to an end because it's just so awkward at this point, and like the quality has really gone downhill. So, I don't know, just hearing murmurings of maybe it ending, it definitely makes people, like kind of perk up. And who knows? I mean, will it end sometime soon? Maybe. Like I said, personally, I think that maybe he did hear something that normal, consumers don't know about. Maybe, the people running the show do want to end it soon. But yeah, I do definitely think it's coming to an end, but maybe not just yet, But it's all speculation and we'll have to wait and see. But I don't know, just wanted to share that because if you're like a fan of The Simpsons or like you were or whatever, it's just an interesting news story. So there you go. Alrighty, moving on to my other TV news story. This one's kind of sad, because I think it is a shame how Netflix keeps doing this. As the title of the article states, Mystery Science Theater 3000 has been canceled by Netflix. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Mystery Science Theater, basically it's this show where there's like this guy, he's supposed to be, like a janitor, or, I guess his job can be different, but basically there's like these scientists that want to experiment on him. So they have him stuck on this satellite, and they play him and his robot buddies a bunch of like really crappy movies. We're talking like really bad, like public domain movies. And basically him and the robots, they just riff on the movies and like kind of make fun of the different stuff like on screen. And that was a pretty popular show at one point, you know, especially during the 90s and stuff, maybe early 2000s. Then it got canceled, you know, until, oh man, I want to say it was like 2017 or something like that, where it got like rebooted thanks to like a Kickstarter. And it came back, you know, on Netflix with different, you know, cast and stuff. And even though people didn't like, not everybody liked it, you know, because it did change some stuff and it was a different crew and, you know, like the feeling of it was a bit different. There was still a lot of people who did enjoy it, you know, because they thought it was fun to see the series, you know, back in one way or another. And, you know, the show had a season that was like a regular season. Then it had a second season that was last Thanksgiving. And it was like this like back to back. I think it was called like The Gauntlet, where it was about like the character, you know, back to back having to watch movie after movie after movie. So basically, you know, they made like 2 seasons out of this new like reboot. But yeah, for whatever reason, if you read the story, it says that the creator of the show, Netflix sent him an email saying that they were canceled. So, I don't know, like I said, that kind of sucks, you know? Even if the show wasn't exactly the same, even though some people, you know, they kind of didn't like that they had to switch things up or whatever, I still think it's a shame, because I think it's kind of cool that the creators of the show were trying to continue the show, were trying to keep the spirit alive or whatever, and there were people who enjoyed it. And just knowing that Netflix canceled it for seemingly no reason, like, I think that really sucks, you know? Like, I've talked in the past about how they canceled BoJack Horseman, basically, how they canceled Tuca and Birdie. I mean, I know there's like a few shows here and there that they've kind of, you know, ended or whatever. So yeah, just hearing that they ended another show, that's pretty lame. I think it sucks that, you know, these are shows that people seem to be enjoying, but for whatever reason, you know, Netflix has other ideas. Like, I think it's really lame. But also, I mean, if you read the article, it does seem like the creator wants to keep the show alive however he can. So, I don't know. I mean, if he decides to put on some different network or some sort of different streaming service or whatever, then, you know, good for him, you know. Hopefully he does what he has to do, you know. So, there you go. Alrighty, finally, transitioning over to anime news. This is a short one. It's not, you know, there's not too much to this story, but I still want to talk about it because I do think it's very interesting. As the title of the article states, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Boomerang president Christina Miller steps down. So basically, you know, if you read the article, like I said, it's a little short article. I guess there's this lady called Christina Miller, and she served in the position of president of Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Boomerang for 5 years. And after 5 years, you know, she's stepping down. And this guy called, I don't even know how you pronounce his name, but it's like Michael Uwaline or something like that. He's going to be the interim president. And yeah, basically, if you read about the article and if you kind of read the comments and stuff, I guess a lot of people are really happy she's leaving because they feel that it's her fault that Cartoon Network, you know, like took such a decline in quality. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but like at one point, Cartoon Network was just filled with a bunch of cartoons. And there's like classics now, all sorts of stuff. And then, yeah, in recent years, it's just gotten really awkward where, you know, really good shows, like it's like Regular Show, Adventure Time, you know, that sort of thing. Like they kind of came and went and no one even knew. Because the advertising for them was really bad, the spots they came out in would be really random, that sort of thing. And yet, you know, shows like Teen Titans Go, for instance, like if you look at the schedule, Teen Titans Go plays like I don't know, like for like 9 hours of the day, like straight, you know? Like it just has like an insane push. And I guess a lot of people just feel that it's her fault because she was in charge. And so a lot of people are happy that she's, you know, gone or whatever. And likewise, yeah, like it says right here, you know, I kind of looked up his Wikipedia page. It says he's an American television writer, best known for the animated television series Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. So I don't know, I guess people are just hoping that since she did such a bad job, or I mean, I guess they feel she did a bad job, I mean, they're kind of blaming it on her. I guess they're happy that she's out of the way, and the guy who's taking over as president, since he is someone who has worked on, you know, animated shows before, I guess they're hoping that he'll just have I guess, more love for the medium, and that he'll like treat the what would you call it, like the company better, I guess. So like I said, not much to the story. It's kind of one of those things that's in the process of happening. But yeah, I guess, Warner Media did what they had to do. I guess, yeah, if they thought she wasn't doing a good job, they took her down and someone else is taking her place. Personally, I think it's kind of messed up to blame it on just her. I doubt that she was the only one calling the shots, I doubt that she alone, ruined Cartoon Network or whatever. But, at the same time, she probably was at least partially responsible. And I don't know, having like a fresh new face, having some new blood. Hopefully it really does help to, I don't know, bring the channel back, because a lot of people are definitely unhappy with how things are going. So will this new guy be able to fix it? Will he turn things around? Remains to be seen. But yeah, if you're interested, link is in the description below. You can do all your research, look it up, read the article. There you go. Alrighty guys, and with that being said, that brings us to the end of another news week. As I said, pretty short news week. A lot of stuff was kind of just announcements or like speculation, that sort of thing. Wasn't anything too meaty. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's news. Hopefully you found something that was informative, educational, I don't know, something that caught your attention, that sort of thing. And yeah, with that being said, I guess that just leaves us with one thing to do, and that is transitioning over to the content creator spotlight. And this week's content creator, it's someone that I've covered on the channel before, and it's someone that I kind of mentioned earlier during the podcast actually, but I am of course talking about It's All Fun and Games. And like I said, I do know that I covered him before quite a while ago, but due to the whole, giveaway he was doing, and due to his, 99th video thing he has going on and stuff, I thought it was a nice time to put him in the spotlight again. And so sure enough, It's All Fun and Games. It's run by a guy named Dom. He currently, his channel's sitting at 796 subscribers. And what can I really say, man? Dom is a really nice guy, really energetic on camera, really funny, and he's a really nice guy. Like I said, the fact that he gave away that limited run, huge package, plus some other prizes and stuff too. Generous guy, he didn't even he's not a penny pincher at all, When it comes to his videos, he just has really interesting content, because I feel like he just does a variety of stuff. For instance, he has reviews of newer games and older games. If you just look down the list of his videos, for instance, he has some newer stuff. He did a review of Untitled Goose Game basically when it came out. He did a review of, I've mentioned it before, it's the game I've been playing, ToeJam and Earl Back in the Groove when it first came out. But he also does reviews of older games, which I think is really cool. He did a review of Klonoa. I love that game, I think it's a really fun little game. He did a review of a few NES titles, he did a review on this game called Jackal for the NES that I'd never even heard of. He did a review of, it's called Super Ninja-kun, which is not only a review, but it kind of ties into this other thing he does, where it's called It Came From Japan, and they're kind of like Japanese imports, I guess you can say. Not only does he do reviews, but he does videos on different topics. He did a video called Why Water Levels Suck. He did another one talking about the biggest games and biggest disappointments of 2018. He did a video, top 5 video game characters that need a beard. He just does all sorts of interesting things, He does reviews, new and old. He does those Japanese imports. He does just different subjects like the water levels and characters he thinks need beards. And yeah, he just has stuff too, he did one where he interviews Kirby. And that video, you just gotta watch. It's really wild. He just sits down and, he's supposed to be interviewing Kirby. It's this puppet. And it's, Kirby's just being super crude. And he has this deep voice or whatever. And it's just really funny. So yeah, guys, like I said, he just has an assortment of videos, reviews, and topics he looks at, and retrospectives, and lists, and interviews with fictional characters and stuff. So yeah, he just has a really fun channel all around. It's called All Fun and Games. And sure enough, it's all fun and games, on his channel. So I love his channel. I think you guys should check it out. Dom, if you're listening to this, I think your channel's great. I've talked about it before, and I talked about it during my unboxing, but I think you're an awesome guy. I wish you the best on your channel, even though right now you're at 796 subscribers. I hope your channel continues to grow and grow. So, I'm just wishing the best for you, man. And for anyone else listening, I wish this guy the best, and I think he has some really good stuff. So check him out, give him a chance, check out his stuff, leave him some comments, some likes, maybe even subscribe. And as I always say, give him some love. And if you do, tell him that Wannabe Reviewer sent you. So there you go. Alrighty, guys, and with that being said, that brings us to the end of another podcast. That is one more in the bag. I said this was going to be kind of a short podcast. Looking over at my time, I think for once I did stick to my word, and it is going to be one of the shorter podcasts. But like I said, right now I'm out of town, didn't really do much, and I kind of have to get back to the family and stuff. So, apologies there. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hopefully there was something in it that made it worthwhile for you guys. Whether it was me introducing you guys, once again to It's All Fun and Games, one of the news stories I talked about, or maybe one of the things I talked about for my week, as brief as that was. And yeah, guys, I hope to be back here next week for episode 58. As I mentioned before too, I hope to do some more streaming, maybe on Tuesday, over at twitch.tv/wannabe_reviewer. I don't know, I don't really want to play yet, but, maybe it'll be Death Stranding, maybe it'll be more ToeJam and Earl. We'll see how it goes, but I'm definitely excited to do more, streaming. And yeah, with that being said, guys, that's it. My name is Wannabe Reviewer. I hope to be back here next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week until I see you guys again. And with that being said, I'll check you guys out next time.